TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seats and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your #1 choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on Nigecomsat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London. For inquiry,
Daybreak Africa is your one-stop top-notch breakfast show that brings you all the interesting stories happening in and around Africa.
Because we have all the morning essentials,
including the latest news, sports, weather, and events. And of course, the people.
Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
It is another beautiful morning, and it is our pleasure to welcome you on today's edition of the program Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria. My name is Elvis Oga.
My name is Mercy Joe. I'm sure we all slept fine. It's nice to know that you're watching us this morning. Elvis Oga.
Good morning,
Good
Mercy.
morning, Elvis. It was fine. We bless God. The new figures recorded yesterday of the cases in Nigeria, 284 new cases in Nigeria, a total of 6,677 cases in Nigeria now.
Yeah, and with the death about 200.
Yeah, 200 dead on the dot now.
Our fears that we expressed earlier on gradually coming to bear, but like we keep talking about, the much that the health workers and everybody that has been doing to see that we contain this COVID-19, but somehow, somewhere, it's increasing. But like we said, we cannot do more than adhering to the guidelines and all.
Yes.
And then the rundown, I saw you bringing the rundown. Lagos having so much.
Yeah, 199 cases from only Lagos.
That's huge. That's a big one.
That's a big one. 26
from
Rivers.
And then 19 from Oyo, 8 in FCT, 7 in Plateau,
8 in Borno, 5 in Kano State.
Yes, 2 in Abia, then 1 in Ekiti, Delta, Kwara, and Taraba each.
Exactly. The reason why we bring these figures before everyone every other day is so we understand how severe this pandemic is.
True.
And people understand that this thing is here. We're seeing it. We're face to face.
Yes.
So it's either we're trying to now live with it and understand what we are to do and not to do in this period.
Honestly, and then very of serious concern. Despite all the measures put in place in the last state, we still have up to 26 cases just yesterday.
Wow. Ordinarily, one would have felt that with all the measures being put in place by Governor Wike, they still have increasing cases. Is it not the same River State that had the demolition of hotels?
It still falls back to what we actually projected earlier on, that the extent to which we contain this largely lies on the citizens, our compliance with the guidelines by the NCDC and other bodies or authorities that are responsible to see that we contain this.
Yes.
And you were talking about a state that the figures were misinterpreted.
Zamfara State.
Okay, Zamfara.
Zamfara State Commissioner of Health Yahaya Kanoma told the press that the state recorded 2 cases
yesterday
on Monday.
Not the reported 10.
Not the reported 10 that the NCDC pronounced, and they don't know where the NCDC got their own figures from, because they made an error, and they now reconfirmed to the NCDC that we don't have 10 cases, we have 2 cases. So where the remaining 8 cases are coming from, we don't know.
I wanted to make reference to that because you were giving me the full gist, and for the state government to say they don't know where NCDC got those 10 figures from, it will not be totally right to say that, because they admitted that there was an error from their side earlier on submitting 10 before they corrected it to be 2. So I think
the error is from both
sides
ends.
For them to do that mistake, and we all know how NCDC may be overwhelmed, even though it is their job to see that they put up these figures before Nigerians.
Because how many more mistakes or errors have now been put out there? Because now
one can tell.
Yes, because this pandemic is severe.
True.
So they need to let Nigerians know that what they are giving us is the accurate figures, since we are dwelling on figures.
And I was just wondering, is it a prerogative of the government or some other bodies to send the numbers to NCDC, or NCDC are supposed to have offices domiciled in this different states so that they go collect this?
They actually have representatives in each state.
And we don't really, the government does not encourage the treatment of this COVID-19 in private hospitals. So it's not easier to go to the isolation centers across these different states and collate the
result
figures.
the figures themselves. And the National Commissioner of Health, they are asking for an apology from the NCDC and probably a review of the figure that they have put out, so that people can understand this is not the case, or this is not what stands out in our state right now.
Still talking about COVID-19, Benue Index case finally released from isolation center.
Susan Ope.
Released from isolation center yesterday after 54 days.
Yeah, we can only say hallelujah, amen. After how many days?
After 54 days.
The last time we talked about her was around 31 days, and now 50. So now the question is, she has left as being discharged. Discharged? Yes. Was it really confirmed that she had the virus? Was she really treated?
That's one great area that Nigerians are actually waiting for the NCDC and the appropriate authorities to come and talk about it. Because she's actually, like Susan was saying before we came on, said that she fought through. We've heard her and the family came out at different times to talk about how she has been kept against her wish. It's not anybody's wish to be in isolation.
No, it's nobody's wish.
If you are showing symptoms or any point out to the fact that you might be having coronavirus.
It's the reason why you have to be in the isolation center. The NCDC will not put you there if you're not showing signs. The essential workers, the exempted workers being harassed in Lagos State.
Not just only in Lagos, but I think on the large scale, it's only Lagos case that have been put out here yet, because definitely there are other states that similar issue must have been going on. Essential workers like the health workers and journalists still being harassed. Some of them even got to the extent of some of them being arrested, as reported yesterday, as alleged yesterday. And from information we've been getting, it was reported that the Commissioner of Police in Lagos said nobody's exempted from this. And we've been looking at it. The president said essential workers are supposed to be exempted, and the list of essential workers,
there's a list, so they're meant to follow the list.
Doctors or medical practitioners, and then the journalists,
and
other people
that are exempted.
Well.
So I see, the thing is that what I see here is that since on Monday that the president didn't address the nation anymore, it looks like all bodies are bringing out their own rules and their own strategies and their own plans. It looks like people are not talking for themselves. But beside that, the president actually gave a list of exempted workers. So that's what we should still be following.
Other people are looking at it from the angle of misinformation. Maybe an information is being passed out and somebody did not get it well or get it right. That could happen. But we're glad that the story is being talked about. It's in the public glare now, and everybody's talking about it. We've already seen the first public relation officer come out to say, no, journalists and all essential workers are allowed to move after the 8 p.m. curfew.
Yes. Paralympic champion Esther Oyema has received a 4-year ban for anti-doping.
She failed her anti-doping test.
This whole tussle came in since January 28th in 2019. That's last year, when she was when she provided her urine for testing, and they found they found what they found in her system, and it now meant that after all being said and done, she has to be banned, and the next time she will be seen her will be in 2023. 2023.
You know, she was actually having plans of adding more caps to her, more feathers to her caps,
and they stripped her of any previous medals.
That's what happened basically in sport. I remember. After Juventus lifted so many Italian Serie A titles for a while, and after so many years, an investigation was conducted into allegation of match fixing. When they were found guilty, they were stripped of those particular titles they won several years back. So in sport, that's one thing. And the main question, or the question on the minds of many people that are reacting to this story, like you were asking earlier,
why did it take this long?
Apart from that, like you were saying, is it that they have been suspecting all along? And that's what happened in sport. When you are performing extraordinarily, you become cynosure of all eyes, and you're subjected to every, do I call it ridicule and what have you. And
all form of suspicion.
At the end of the day, she failed the anti-doping test, and there are penalties. So I know sport is one thing that's supposed to.
Seeing she's disabled, so probably they see so much strength. Yes. I think the last activity she performed in was the International Powerlifting Competition in Lagos State, 48 kg. Oh, wow. Yes.
Bagging gold and silver in all those categories she's been lifting.
It's only a sad thing that she has now been stripped of all the previous medals.
Which necessarily might not be, she might not have capped all of those things as a result of the intake of substance she has been suspected of being taking. But maybe like we say, you could just spoil all your record with just one stint. Like you might look at that and they will tell you, when one finger is soiled in oil, it will affect the rest finger.
And she's 38, so let's do a quick calculation for her. By
the
time
42, maybe the natural strength might not be there again. And if she's been succeeding because of doping, that means if she's no longer taking, then the success might not be there.
This morning I asked you a question about that doping, where you were behaving how you were doing. Probably we give you your own ban.
It's energy vibe, it's all day.
We have Susan this morning with us. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Mercy.
Good morning, Susan.
What do you have to say about the doping?
I reserve my comments.
Okay, I can see that you are actually humble. Anytime you are humble like this, and you have a whole lot of news.
Of course, there's a lot of news.
So what's trending?
Yeah, we have some news about, of course, the rising cases of COVID-19 as it is in the country. I also mentioned earlier the issue of the Lagos State strike actions by the enemy due to the whole miscommunication issues of
harassment of the workers, the health workers,
of essential workers and all that. So we have more details.
Take us there.
Of course. We're now going to the news desk to get more details. Good morning and welcome to AM News. I am Susan Achin. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 284 new cases of the novel coronavirus in 16 states of the country.
The NCDC confirmed this late last night in a tweet on its official handle. This brings the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases to 6,677 nationwide. So far, 1,840 patients have been discharged, while 200 deaths have been recorded. 292 Nigerians from Saudi Arabia have been quarantined in Abuja after their arrival on Tuesday. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jofi Onyema, said the Saudi government transported them to the nation's capital. Now moving on to Lagos, the Lagos State branch of the Nigerian Medical Association has directed its members to sit at home from 6 p.m. yesterday over what it describes as conflicting directives on the enforcement of the nationwide 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. curfew in the state. In a statement signed by the chairman, Dr. Saliu Oseni, and the secretary of the association, Dr. Moronkola Ramon, the NMA deplored the comments of the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State to the effect that essential workers, including doctors and other health workers, are not exempted. All medical doctors in Lagos State were thereby advised to proceed on a sit at home in their best interest, starting from 6 p.m. yesterday indefinitely until further notice. Now, the Nigerian Medical Association Zamfara has confirmed that 8 of its members have tested positive for COVID-19. The vice chairman of the association in the state, Manir Baturi, said that 8 medical doctors who were among the confirmed COVID-19 cases in Zamfara state were infected in line of duty at various public hospitals in the state. Dr. Baturi also said that the doctors got infected while attending to patients at hospitals who were already infected with the disease. Meanwhile, Bauchi State government has lifted the ban on religious activities and suspended the lockdown imposed on residents in the state. This, according to the state governor Bala Muhammad, takes effect from Thursday, May 21. The governor made this announcement at stakeholders meeting held at the Command Guest House in Bauchi, the state's capital. He explained that the development followed the success achieved so far in the management of the COVID-19 pandemic in the state and enjoined the stakeholders to assist the government in ensuring that the protective tools put in place are adhered to strictly in order to be free from the infection. And now in Zamfara State, government has launched a zero-contact testing booth in the state in order to significantly increase the testing capacity and protect health workers who are the frontline soldiers in the coronavirus raging war. The state governor, Bello Matawale, who inspected the testing center in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, said that the new state-of-art facilities is in furtherance of its administration's firm resolve to rid the state of the global scourge with an initiative that is guaranteed to improve the testing capacity of the virus in line with the World Health Organization's recommendations. Now, similarly, Edo State plans to screen at least 300,000 persons in the next 2 weeks to meet the set target of screening 10% of its population of 5 million people as part of measures to contain the coronavirus pandemic. And onto the entertainment scene, social media is currently buzzing with excitement following an announcement from organizers of Big Brother Naija that a new season of the reality show will be taking place in 2020. A post shared on the official DSTV Nigeria page also confirmed that auditions for the season have been slated for 20th to 30th May. Interestingly, in line with the recent development due to the coronavirus pandemic, the organizers have made it clear that this year's audition to get a chance into the house will be held online. Interested candidates had to record a video of themselves and share it on social media. And that's it on AM News. I am Susan Achin.
Wow. Like you said, a whole lot of news making rounds this morning.
Yeah.
Let's kick it off from the entertainment angle.
BB Naija.
Seriously, my mind never went to this angle. I don't know if coronavirus took my mind away, but I never thought that it even come up with this.
I thought everybody will, anything reality TV for now will be on hold naturally because of the pandemic. But
you know, I did a very quick calculation in my head. I'm like, okay, they do the auditions online, they get to test everyone, quarantine them, and bring them to one place, and then entertain Nigerians and the world.
I want to see the reality side of people keeping social distance on the screen. Maybe people could get to learn how to do that basically from that angle. But one thing I want us to look at is recall what trade last year auditions that people were complaining that it was not that transparent, especially everybody that made it to the house were kind of made to an extent. So people felt there was some influence.
You know, Nigerians
until the end.
Exactly. Nigerians will be reacting to this news. Of course, you know, this is what gets them excited and all that, because a lot of them want to get a chance to be there. You know, some of them were saying, I read a comment where someone said, don't worry, they already
picked those who they want to pick. So you guys should not bother.
So has BB Nigeria really gotten to that stage now where people begin to make such statements?
If it's online,
so you can imagine.
If it's online, I feel it will be more prudent and it will be more transparent.
Then there's also the issue of people being fake online, because anybody can look like anybody online.
You go to the house and disgrace yourself.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Anyway, it seems like those that disgrace themselves are the more popular ones.
True.
But we just see how they go through with that.
Oil market has to begin importation soon.
Yeah. Well, the issue is that it was actually subjected to just the association. I mean, the entire body. But now individual marketers can do that, and I think it's a good deal.
You know,
the Bauchi State Governor lifting the ban on religious gatherings.
And not just Bauchi State, the Kaduna State,
Nasarawa State. And the Bauchi State Governor is saying that his people and his place don't have a problem. It's the people from Kano that are coming into their communities that he has a problem. And that's why they're making sure the interstate ban is actually working very well in Bauchi State.
I wanted to talk about that the ban on interstate travel already handles that. Already handled that. So it's just for the security operatives or people that are meant to enforce this particular.
But you know, I mean, looking forward, I was earlier when I was discussing, and I was just saying, I think we are getting to the point where we just get to, you know, adjust our lifestyles to suit this, because the issue of public religious gatherings has been on the table for a while now. Religious leaders coming out to say this has taken too long. You know, there's something about people gathering together and worshiping in one place and all that. So I think we're getting to that point where everybody will just have to adjust to the rules and still go on our activities, because this seems like it's not the end is not close.
I saw the circular that was released by the Nasarawa State government, and they were talking about it has to be under strict compliance of the laid down guidelines before this, because if anybody violated, the person will be made to face the wrath of the law.
Yeah, talking about Edo State government trying to test 300,000 people in 2 weeks.
Very, very, very nice, and that's 10% of their 5 million population, and I think it's a good deal. We've been talking about the issue of testing and the issue of the state leaders at the state levels taking up responsibilities for their various states. So it's a really great one.
Still coming from Zamfara, 8 doctors testing positive and then launching their no contact booth for the test. I love the innovative angle of bringing a booth that contact will be made. I saw that when sports were to resume, where players are supposed to go through similar training or process before they are allowed back into the training camps. And just yesterday we were talking about Rwanda making use of robots to conduct tests and all of that, just to minimize the risk of exposing health workers or medics to contacting this.
The major concern here is even the healthcare workers, because every other day we're seeing healthcare workers being infected.
How much can they protect themselves, and they are already doing? Because the more they get infected, the more disturbing it becomes, because these are the people that are, you know, reaching out and then trying to.
Because not everyone can be a healthcare worker. So it's not people you can just easily replace.
I think they should, you know, look for better ways that these people can be protected. The more we have health workers testing positive for this virus, the less the chances of more people being treated and more discharges. So it's quite worrisome.
Wow.
Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome. All right, so now move across Africa to get some more news. Stay with us.
This is News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. A little over a year after an initial bronze statue was unveiled as Thomas Sankara, government unveiled another of the same work. Criticism had trailed the March 2019 statue, which a number of people said did not do justice to the former Burkina leader, at least per his looks. They criticized sculptor Jean-Luc Bambara went back to the drawing board and came up with a new one, which many say is an upgrade from the first work. Speaking at the event, Foreign Affairs Minister Alpha Barry told French broadcaster RFI, it's hard to say whether one can 100% capture Thomas Sankara, but what we have now represents him, and that is what matters most. The initial unveiling of the monument, which stands in the capital Ouagadougou, was done on the sidelines of the 2019 African Film Festival, FESPACO. It was done by President Marc Roch-Kabore, along with former Ghanaian President Jerry John Rawlings. At a time when countries have imposed and are easing lockdowns in the fight against COVID-19, Tanzanian President John Magufuli insists there will be no such thing as lockdown in the East African nation. During an address to a church congregation over the weekend, Magufuli stressed that when the neighbors are done with their lockdowns, they could still come for help with food. There is not going to be any such thing as lockdown in Tanzania. God will help us. We need to work hard. Once the other East African countries are done with their lockdown, they will come to us and we shall still help them with food. We will not discriminate them. Magufuli said hospitals in the country showed a growing trend of recoveries and promised to open more public places such as schools and universities. If the trend I'm seeing continues in the coming week, I plan to open up universities so students can continue with their education. The Magufuli's government has been criticized for lack of transparency regarding the toll that COVID-19 has taken, with the last official update on April 29, listing 480 cases. According to the WHO, however, Tanzania has recorded 509 cases, 21 deaths, and 183 recoveries. A crucial election has begun in the East African nation of Burundi, where President Pierre Nkurunziza is stepping aside after 15 years in charge, but he will remain paramount leader in the country that continues to reject outside scrutiny. Face masks and social distancing were observed as voting began after 6 a.m., but Burundi's government has been criticized for not appearing to take the coronavirus pandemic seriously. Nkurunziza himself attended crowded political rallies. The country has 42 confirmed virus cases. Regional observers were not present after being told that arriving foreigners will face a 14-day quarantine, and on Wednesday morning, citizens and journalists said access to social media was not possible without a virtual private network. Ahead of the vote, government agents were accused of harassing the main opposition party, the CNL, whose leader Agathon Rasa is believed to be in a close race with Nkurunziza's choosing successor in the CNDD-FDD Evariste Ndayishimiye. Police have accused Rasa of making incendiary and defamatory remarks and inciting revolt. Some in Burundi worry that a rigged election could spark the kind of street demonstration that marked the previous vote in 2015, when Nkurunziza decided to run for a third term that some called illegal. If none of the 7 candidates receive more than 50% of the vote, a runoff election will occur within weeks. More than 5 million people are registered to vote in the country of nearly 12 million. A group of volunteers in Nigeria have decided to join the medical frontline, literally. In a solidarity move with workers, they prepare meals to be distributed to various hospital staff and their family. According to Raisi, the chef and owner of the restaurant at the heart of the effort, is a purely charitable mission in a hard time for the country. Mahadin Rashid is a university student and volunteer. Here we have volunteers who are students, chefs, and other professions. We consider that we are doing volunteer work, but we have big groups cooking as well. Part of the initiative is to deliver food to those in need during the Islam holy month of Ramadan. They have now extended to delivering to nurses, doctors, care assistants currently dealing with the 7,200 confirmed coronavirus cases. Since May 18, the Congolese population has been gradually returning to money-making activities after 48 days at a standstill. The Republic of Congo government recently lifted a few lockdown measures initially put in place to fight the spread of the coronavirus. Now, the resumption of public transport is a great news for Pavel Samba, who has been a taxi driver for the last 15 years. The easing of lockdown measures comes as a relief, as he knows no other way to make a living. This time was not easy. It is something you can never imagine can happen to you. It all happened so suddenly. I am a tenant and I'm renting a house. Even during the lockdown, the landlord has sent me a message asking me to pay. I asked him to be patient and that I will come to regularize the amount once the lockdown was over, he said. Even the hairdresser who had temporarily took away their combs and shears are back in business. Bars and restaurants, however, have not been authorized to reopen besides a few rare customers who can come to order takeout. Turnovers are on the decline, but restaurant owners remain hopeful. That is the most that we have for you on News Across Africa. Daybreak Africa continues shortly with Mercy and Elvis. Stay tuned.
Okay, in case you're just joining us, this is still Daybreak Africa here on television Nigeria. It's the newspaper review moment, and we have Victor Tehemba with us this morning.
Definitely.
Good morning, Victor.
Yeah, good morning.
Glad to have you once more.
Thank you. It's a beautiful Thursday morning.
Yes.
Yeah,
How was the night?
Not so well.
How are you feeling this morning?
Good anyway.
We'll talk about how your night was.
When Victor said beautiful Thursday morning, I wanted to ask if you were throwing back to anything today.
Oh, not exactly.
Okay. Okay. We have a lot of news actually trending this morning, and let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. Why governments may lose COVID-19 battle by UN. Police provoke doctors' wrath over brutal enforcement of curfew. Journalists, others on essential duties are exempted, says IGP. Catholic body FCT differ on reopening of churches and mosques. Federal government okays 2.2 billion naira to retool Abra customs plateau varsity.
Yeah, like you said earlier, a lot of issues going on, and then the major concern there is why governments may lose the battle against COVID-19. Well, I have to take my time to really see the reasons being put forward by the United Nations, but I think they are also in my line of thought that this virus, from the way it goes, and when you look at the basic, in fact, I think up till now, people have not really, including the doctors and the lesson scientists, they have not really understand the genuine sequence of this virus in the first place. So and from the way it operates, from the way it grows, it seems like it's something that is going to be with us for a very long time. It might not be something that we'll really get to do away with. It might just be something that it's with us, and then we just learn how to live with it and manage it. But by then, I believe there'll be enough vaccines or drugs or whatever it is outside to really go. But I'm very interested to see the reasons being put forward by the United Nations, because those would be professional and very informed views backed by facts, statistics, and whatever it goes. And for the other areas of doctors, being harassed. And now in Lagos, they're basically going to be sitting at home so that to avoid this police harassment. But then we know that even from the president's speech, he mentioned that doctors, media people are all exempted. These are essential people. But at the same time, there are some people initially, when this whole thing started, the whole lockdown started, they went to go and buy doctors' equipment, to just hang on the front of their cars. As it means, when they go there, say, I'm a doctor. And then the police know. So people really take advantage of that. So at the point, it got to a point where the police could not really identify who was
really a doctor.
Yeah, it was at that point they were not asking for people additional identification. Prove that you are a doctor. Prove that you are a journalist. You're not just moving up on that. So I think this is
that's how we came to this stage.
Yeah, we came to this stage and all of that, and then they have reacted. At this point in time, it's not when they need to sit at home. We really need
them.
Yeah, and that's why the Lagos State government is being kind of proactive in
handling
the issues, talking to them, make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay. Let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. Lagos to admit only severe cases at isolation center. Below that headline, patients with mild symptoms for home care. State records 199 of 284 new cases. Viral spread, fear grips security agents. The lots in that body.
Yeah. So it looks like Lagos saying they are going to admit only severe cases
at isolation centers.
I think it's a reasonable way to go about it. It shouldn't be for the fact, at the beginning, this whole frenzy of COVID-19, when somebody shows the symptoms, you move them to the isolation centers, and then this will begin to occupy space that others who really need this space.
Even if their symptoms are just mild.
So it's very nice to see that those with mild symptoms could be treated in their homes, and then allow for base spaces for those with more severe cases. And then Lagos has been complaining that they are running out of base space. So I think it is in that light, that they have to come up with this policy, with this thoughts that let's just admit those who have severe cases, and then let those.
But will there not be case of the home care treatment for those that have milder case, like stigmatization coming from probably the family members, or because if you are leaving them in the house, what if you see cases of some other people around that has not decided to desert the person?
No, why would they?
Or will NCDC be coming to treat them in their house?
I think that is where the whole thing comes to. So people come to your house, and I think it would be not like coming every day, but I think they might have given you enough medication, enough lesson prescription, and instructions on how to take them. For a while, they come to check you. So your family people cannot really abandon. For people that have been in self-isolation at home and all of that, from their own experiences that they have shared, it's more like they just stay in their room and then whatever needs to be passed to them is being dropped at the door, so they come, they listen, pick it up by themselves, just to mitigate that.
Okay.
Not that the family people are really
deserting,
not that they want even deserting, but at that point, everybody understands that we just need to be safe and secure here for the victims' interest and for our own interest as well.
That means you'll be using more hand gloves because contact.
Yeah, definitely. I understand. All right, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. And the banner headline we have from there says, Lagos begs doctors as NMA orders indefinite sit at home. Lagos government to manage simple coronavirus cases at patients' residence. WHO hails Nigeria's response to Kano massive community transmission. North has 54% of cases, 70% new infections. That is coming from the northern governors.
50%. That is quite a lot, because when we basically look at it, the North were the last to pick up in terms of getting this coronavirus.
Yes.
But then for them to have been the last to pick up, and then they pick up and then it gets to more than 50%. I think that's actually a huge number and a very big source of worry and concern. Yeah.
I think the second part of the headline captures what you just said: 70% new infections. So, like you said, they were among the last people
to pick up, and then they are just basically blazing the trail.
Okay.
Not in a good light anyway.
Okay, moving to the Daily Sun newspaper. Al-Majri banned from entry in Boeing State. Umahi threatens to seize cow-blocking convoy. Below that, Khan urges federal government to restructure security and relax lockdown. Still below that, COVID-19, 8 doctors test positive in Zamfara. That's coming from the NMA.
Really? Okay, that's more of the stories that these doctors in Zamfara too were not really kitted. They didn't have the recent PPE. Not all of them had those PPE. And so it's now that they're also taking a policy to avoid personal contacts when you are doing testing or getting to collect samples. So I don't know what other means that they're going to use to get. Maybe perhaps the victim or the patient get to provide the samples and then submit
to them.
Yes, because initially they have to meet you to get it from you. So maybe they will let the patient get this and give it to us. So I think that's another way, maybe until they are able to have those.
Okay, the Al-Majri has been banned from entering Ebonyi State.
It's something that has been going on. A lot of states have been doing that in this point in time. I think now Ebonyi State has just been the latest to really not want Al-Majris in their in their state. Yeah, so if you look at Rivers basically less than deported. Same thing will happen in other states like Abuja. So
even the northern region. And
so at this point, it's basically understandable that it's not at this point that a large number of elementary people should be coming into any country. I think at points in time like this, everybody should
stay where you are. Can urging federal government to restructure security and relax the lockdown. So I think they're calling for a total relaxation of the lockdown.
Not total. Perhaps Khan will be more interested in their own interests, so they want to see the churches open. So I think that's from the point that they are coming. I know yesterday we discussed this thing yesterday or 2 days ago that we discussed that there are other measures that government can take to really allow churches and schools to reopen and all of that. So maybe they also have a very valid advice for the government, and that's what they're putting it forward and say restructure the security. In fact, as a matter of restructuring the security forces, it has been a case that has been actually on the burner since we started talking about restructuring, everybody restructure, and that's why the recent vice president came out and say what exactly is restructuring, because it means different things to different people. Some people will come out and say we just want fiscal restructuring. Some will come out, we want true, let's have federalism, let's scatter everything or whatever. Some people just want the sharing formula to be readjusted. Some people want that, can we just go back to let's have regional government and do whatever it is. So restructure security apparatus.
I'm sure we can fill the government in what they really mean by restructuring.
Victor actually rally say maybe they have very vital, valid advice for the government
or strategies.
With it. Right, let's take a look at this day newspaper. The banner headline we have from there is Sultan urges Muslims to comply with social distancing as government relax restrictions. Again, IG directs please stop brass to exempt journalists, orders on essential service from curfew. Lagos doctors begin stay-at-home protest. COVID-19 cases increased by 284 to 6,677 with 1,840 discharged, 200 dead. 80% of Nigerians' cases don't need hospital care, says epidemiologist. Catholic Archbishop asked federal government to consider herbal remedies. 292 stranded Nigerians arrived from Saudi Arabia.
That's a whole lot of different stories there, but I like the one from Sultan.
Okay.
Advising, he's a very respected religious leader in the Muslim community, and so for him to come out to really say that you need to observe that, I think it's a very good one from the Sultan. And then also looking at the fact that we're having 284 new cases, and that takes our tally to about
6,677.
Yeah, 6,677. That is a huge number. I never thought, like I just have to repeat, I never thought we ever get to these massive figures. But then it was also the cause of worry for a lot of people who were saying that should the virus start spreading in Nigeria, it will spread astronomically because our population and the way that we are naturally as a people, we need a hear word.
So many factors.
So we're basically playing, and then it's also a nice one that 292 stranded Nigerians in Saudi Arabia were kind of equated back home.
Yeah, back home.
So they were basically undergo the 14 days mandatory quarantine, self-isolation.
Yes.
And then they will have to move back to the society and meet with their families. So it's a nice one from them there too.
Okay, the Daily Times newspaper, I think any other news is any different from this. Stay at home. Lagos NMA directs doctors. Below that, Cross Rivers, Ayade lifts suspension on public religious worship.
Okay.
Beside that, COVID-19, Kano releases protocols for Eid prayer, Friday prayers. Beside that, Umahi bans movement of cattle in Mboin State.
Okay, so basically we've talked much about it, except for the this in Cross River.
Also,
they do not have any case, but they had a lockdown and are preparing how to relax the lockdown and whatever. It's interesting. And what else interesting about these new cases for today were 24 cases in River State. Unprecedented, unexpected.
Yes.
It was shocking to everybody.
Despite their measures.
Despite
the whole strict measures.
From Wiki. And then immediately those figures came out, he reversed the lifting of this lockdown on two local governments. I think one is Obiapo and the other one that I can't really remember.
Okay.
So he immediately reverse the decision. So it means that at this point they'll be in for a lot of
they are in for
measures.
Okay, let's take a look at Business Day, and we have employee pensions at risk as lockdown, job losses threaten remittances. That is below the nameplate. And beside that, COVID-19 under testing, PPE shortage endanger patients, medical personnel at Lagos University Teaching Hospital.
So talking about equipping our doctors to be able to go about their duties. That's what we're talking about, the PPE, and then it's being threatened because really, you know what it is. You need to have a job before you can contribute.
Yes.
And then for the fact that some other companies are cutting down on payment salaries, so you might not really have enough to really contribute to the basic pensions and all of that. So I think at this point everybody is making these concessions, but some people are not really looking at how to make these concessions on their own part. They are only looking at the fact that, especially employers are more looking at the employees to make these concessions instead of them also making concessions. I think this is at the point where we all need to take care of ourselves, not just one person, because we know employers are always looking for money-making venture, but at the same time you also need to take the welfare of your own staff as well into a lot of consideration. Because as a matter of fact, you can own the company, but your most important component of your company are your staff, because if there are no people there to work, you will go. So I think employers also looking for the fact that this COVID-19 has hit a lot of people.
Yes.
And some are actually sacked people because they look that maybe we might not really have to be paying you because what would that do to you? But the pension funds, we'll see how that goes with them.
All right. It's been nice having you on the newspaper review with us this morning, Victor Tehemba.
Yeah. I always say it's always a pleasure having you.
It's always a pleasure. We thank you very much. Yeah. All right, let's go to Health Desk and see what they have for us.
And welcome to another episode of Healthy Living. Today I'll be talking on bumps. Shaving with razor is one of the quickest and most effective ways to remove facial or body hair. However, one of the disadvantages of this method of hair removal is the risk of razor burn. Razor burn is the type of skin irritation that not only looks unsightly but can also be a source of pain and discomfort. Razor burn can affect any part of the body that is subject to shaving, including the face, pubic area, legs, underarms. Signs and symptoms of razor burn include rash, redness, itching, swelling, tenderness, burning sensation, small red bumps. Treating razor burn. Razor burn is an uncomfortable and annoying condition, but it usually removes itself with time. However, there are a number of treatments available to ease the symptoms of razor burn, ranging from over-the-counter products to at-home remedies. Options include 1. Avoid shaving or touching the area by leaving the skin alone. It gives the area time to heal and can reduce the risk of further inflammation, irritation, or infection. Secondly, cool compresses. Placing a cool, wet compress on the affected area can help to reduce itching and inflammation. To make a cold compress, simply place a clean washcloth under a stream of cold water. Wring off the excess and apply the skin for up to 20 minutes. This can be repeated as often as needed. Thirdly, antibiotics for infection. Razor burn is often accompanied by bumps. While these generally resolve without complication, there is a possibility of infection. If the bumps appear to be infected, show white or pus-filled head, or become tender or painful to the touch, those affected should consult a doctor. Antibiotics treatment may be required. Preventing razor burns with proper shaving tools and techniques. The risk of developing razor burn can be kept to a minimum. The following tips may help people to prevent razor burns from occurring. Wet the area with water to make the hair soft. Always use a lubricant such as cream, gel, or oil. Choosing a high-quality shape razor blade that is clean and free from debris such as build-up of soap or hair. Shaving in the direction of the hair growth. Not leaning too heavily on the blade. Instead, using light, short stroke, as well as only using as many strokes as necessary. Overshaving an area is significant cause of razor burn. Not shaving too quickly. Rinse the blade after every stroke. Cleaning and drying shaving tools after use to reduce the risk of bacterial growth. Rinsing freshly shaven screen with cold water and applying the gentle lotion gel or moisturizer, making sure to avoid products containing colors, fragrance, alcohol, or other skin irritations. Avoiding wearing tight clothes or tight underwears after shaving, as this can irritate newly shaved skin. So many thanks for watching today's episode. Thank you.
that was a package from our head desk, and of course, it was about how to manage bumps after shave.
I can't relate to that.
You can't. But you're telling me stories about you growing up.
Yeah, my dad, yes. I can only relate in him, but not with him.
There are so many ways people tend to handle that. Like I was telling you, so many people tend to keep the beards because when you shave, you tend to see
yeah, like you were telling me a story. Yes, I understand.
Okay.
All right, let's launch Street Kid on federal government school feeding program. Let's hear what the people on the streets have to say about that.
The government should talk of palliative because students are not in session. You cannot tell anybody that you are feeding children at school who are not at school. As far as I'm concerned, that school feeding is a scam.
I don't even know the name of the woman who was still standing ground that the project must go on, that they must feed the children. Now by force, you won't kill them, you won't poison them. Do you have any plan? I'm suspecting that lady. I'm surprised.
Where are the children? Where do you locate those in suburb, interiors? Headmaster who come from anywhere don't know the 5% of his people where they stay. So how do you now coordinate such people?
Okay, despite the lockdown, they say the program should continue. So what is your take on that?
Children, they are at home now. Continue where? Continue to where? Where are they going to feed? Are they going to feed the breeze? Are they going to feed? No, maybe I don't understand. The children are at home now. Everybody, everything is on lockdown now. I'm telling you, it's on lockdown. So I don't understand feeding children of it. I don't understand. They should wait till everything is back to normal. So they cannot go to school and start feeding them.
For me, it is a very funny issue as far as I'm concerned because when I heard it, I laughed. Why I have to laugh is because, number one, I don't really know the kind of country that we are right now. Seriously speaking. Even you that is hearing me talking now, do you know the country that you are? Is this the country you dream of? And is this the same country you want your children to say, yes, this is their country? Because look at it. For almost going to 2 months, children have been away from school because of COVID-19. Now, children have been away from school, not only in Nigeria, right? It's a global issue. But as far as I'm concerned, COVID-19 in this country is a scam. Because I'm not the one that said it, so I'm not the first person that said it. It's a scam. The pastors confirmed it. Salvation, our pastor, confirmed it that it's a scam. Even Chris Oyakilome also said it's a scam with this 5G issue. Now that is not even the issue on ground. The issue on ground is feeding the children that are not in school. You want to make project or budget for them when they are in their house. And meanwhile, palliative you share during the lockdown, not every family got these palliatives. Some people even died in the process. Now you want to feed children that are in their parents' house. What about their fathers? What about their mothers? Are those children not living in their parents' home? You want to go and feed them there? Are those children the problem of this country? We have people who are hungry and starving. Even during the lockdown and after the lockdown is eased down now, people are starving. Nigerians are starving. Me, I'm starving. Forget say I get small work when I do. I dey starve. So it's madness. I don't even know the name of the woman who was still standing ground that the project must go on, that they must feed the children. Now by force, you won't kill them, you won't poison them. Do you have any plan? I'm suspecting that lady. I'm surprised I can't remember, and I've called her name on telly. That woman should tell us what is going on. Why you want force children to shop this food? Now by force. So I'm not talk past, so that's what I'm telling you, that we don't even seem to know if this is a country anymore. I rest my case. Only God can judge that case.
Power and all those ERGP plan of the government, to boost social investment programs. So now the students or the pupils, how the school feeding program is meant to run is that it should entice children to come to school so that they can be fed, when they are in school. But now they are not in school. School is closed at the moment. So I'm just wondering how the president is saying that the school feeding program will continue, when in fact people that are supposed to benefit is not in school.
Well, I am surprised that they say they are feeding children during lockdown. Are they going to their houses to feed them or what? Because as it is, you can't tell me that you are feeding children who are not physically in school. Are you going to the individual houses to feed them or what? So it's a miracle.
They say they are going to their parents and distributing raw food to their parents at home.
We would like to see that video clip of them distributing food to the parents at home. I think that will answer that question.
The thoughts of Nigerians, feelings of Nigerians on the school feeding program to remain in place even when the kids or the pupils are at home. Like we were discussing earlier on, and then from what from people's reaction, what one can deduce is the fact that maybe Nigerians or the government has not really told Nigerians how they want to go about it when the children are home. Okay, when we are saying even the essential workers, even when the essential workers are still being harassed, are they trying to add the food vendors, as they are widely called in the country, into the list of essential workers? Because how will they now take this food from the point of cooking or to where these kids are? And somebody was talking about, okay, the headmaster does not even know up to 5% of his pupils.
It's still the same thing we're talking about, communication, because now the program, the scheme is not a bad one. The idea, the initial idea, initiative is not a bad one. But then COVID-19 is in place. Schools are closed. Those children, they are at home in their parents' houses, like one of the person rightfully said. They're in their houses. So are you coming to feed them in their house? And they said no, they will go about giving them raw food packages in their homes. And he said we would like to see a video to that effect.
Okay. Probably, and then that's in a way some form of palliative, if we can call it.
Yes, let's just call it palliative rather than the school feeding program that they say.
Okay.
That's the much we can take today on the program Daybreak Africa. In case you're just joining us, unfortunately we have to go now, but we'll be back tomorrow morning for more talks about what's happening around Nigeria and Africa and across the world as well.
True. All right, thank you so much. My name is Elvis Oga. Join us. Let's do this tomorrow.
My name is Mercy Joe.
And we'll now leave you with our package on Amazing Africa that is dealing on Maasai women and their usage of clean energy to cooking, or to cook rather.
Traditionally, women from Maasai communities use mud, wood, and dung to construct their houses. The houses are built without windows or chimneys. With the use of 3 stones firewood for cooking, the houses are poorly ventilated, making the room to be concentrated with soot and dangerous due to high level of smoke and inhalation.
If we talk of the smoke in these houses, it has been affecting even young children. So most of you find in the Maasai villages, there is a lot of like pneumonia. I think because of the smoke they smoke, and also it usually affects their eyes. And mostly you find a lot of people are blind because of this smoke.
It is for this reason that the neighboring Maasai from Tanzania came to their rescue by coming to empower the women to make clean energy cooking stoves, which use less firewood and is efficient for their homes.
Mimi ni fundi wa jiko banifu. Alafu vile vile mimi nimekuja huku kwa ajili ya kuja kuwafundisha wamama ili nao wawe wazoefu wa kujua kujenga hizi majiko banifu katika hii nchi yao.
Nimekuja kuwafundisha wamama wenzangu kazi ambayo inatufaidisha Tanzania. Faida ya jiko, tulikuwa tunaenda kwenye kuni, tunaenda mizigo nyingi ya kuni, lakini yani unawasha nyingi, tunaumia na moshi. Lakini tulivyokuletewa jiko, tunaenda mzigo mmoja tu wa kuni.
Naitumia karibu nusu wiki. Hinya wale baba unalwara na ore. Na nangasa isaka busika. Anira dar na ore amayiwe na are ne dororike amarna bar kumo. Na mayo no se wiki. Nusu wiki.
The stoves are made from metal sheets shaped to focus heat from the firewood and a chimney attached to the stoves to pull the smoke outside.
Hii jiko mpya sasa hivi inapika haraka, inaivisha chakula vizuri, inachukua kuni ndogo, imetoa ule moshi ambayo inaleta madhara ndani ya nyumba. Ile watoto kupata makamasi ovyo, macho kutoa ile maji ovyo, imeisha. Kukohoa ovyo, imeisha. Kwa hiyo tumeona imeleta nia nzuri katika jamii.
Any sound innovation comes with its challenges, and the Maasai stoves are not left out either, because cutting the cost of the stove for every household to have it is crucial. So how prepared are they to make it cheaper?
Kila siku tunajaribu kutafuta namna kudesign hili jiko lisiwe na gharama kubwa. Na ndio maana unaona kwa ndani tunajenga kwa kutumia udongo badala ya simenti, na hii yote ni kwa ajili ya cut down cost ya jiko ili kila mtu aweze kuafford. Kuwapa wazee elimu na kuwaelimisha wamama pia, kuwapa techniques za kuapproach waume zao waweze kutoa hela kwa ajili ya kupata majiko ni kitu kikubwa ambacho tunapenda tuiendeleze. Tumekianza na tunaiendeleza.